For the speech that we're about to start, you're going to have two options. You can either do the inspiration speech, which will be 5 people who inspire you, or you can do the dream dinner speech, which are 3 people that you would like to invite to a dream dinner. In both speeches, they do not have to be living, but in both speeches, they do have to be real. No fictional characters, please. Also, on your inspiration speech and your dream dinner, please don't include you as one of the participants. You're implied in the dream dinner, and if you're your own inspiration, then you're going to have a pretty good reason why. So try to come up with someone outside of yourself to be your inspiration. So the first example I'm going to give is the inspiration speech. And the dream dinner speech are going to be 1 minute minimum, 2 minute maximum. I'll be giving you the time signals, and I'll be using time as well on my speech. I'm about to do the first example for the inspiration speech, then there will be a brief pause, and then I'll do the dream dinner example. So for the inspiration speech, in 3, 2, 1. Never, never, never give up. Said more impassionately by one of the men that inspires me during World War II, facing the blitzkrieg of Nazi Germany all over England, Winston Churchill said to his citizens, "We can never, never, never give up." He had radio chats that would tell the people of England that they could overcome this evil, that Germany wasn't going to win because England had the grit and determination to fight on. He lifted a nation and buoyed their spirits in a time of utter darkness. Another person that inspires me is Frederick Douglass. He started out as a slave, and he rose through education to become such an impassioned speaker against slavery, and so educated and eloquent sounding that people doubted that he was ever a slave, that he had to be more well educated, but actually he was self-educated. Another person that inspires me is Abraham Lincoln, also self-educated. He became a lawyer and politician, and ultimately you know that he stood against the South and said, "You can't divide this nation." And even though personally he was a coward, as a political leader, he had great bravery, great strength. Martin Luther also displayed great courage when he told the Catholic Church that what they were doing was wrong and they needed to repent. The Catholic Church responded by kicking him out of the church. A new religion was formed, but ultimately the Catholic Church went back and revisited what Martin Luther had said and did repent for many of the things that they had done. And so the Catholic Church became better. Martin Luther King Jr. is my final person who inspires me because, well, he led civil rights in a time when you could die for that. And ultimately he did lose his life fighting for what he believed in. And with these people, I can fully understand that being great isn't a matter of just having the right stuff, but rather having the right attitude. And now for the dream dinner. Picture an exclusive restaurant where the finest of steaks are being served. For my dream dinner, I want nothing but the finest. Definitely, since the men that I'm inviting to this dream dinner have the money to pay for it. The first of which is Roger Staubach. Many of you don't know who he is, but he was the star quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys during the late 60s and all of the 70s, and he was part of the run for the Dallas Cowboys where they went to 14 consecutive playoffs. Also, they had never had a losing season during that time. So Roger Staubach was one of my heroes. I actually cried when they lost Super Bowl 13 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hated it. Troy Aikman, I would invite to my dream dinner because he was also a winning quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm sure that he has even more stories about what went on during the Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones era. And when Barry Switzer showed up to be the coach, I'm thinking that those stories had to be pretty amazing. So in addition to being a 3-time Super Bowl champion, Troy Aikman was a good person who has a lot of great stories. And that's why he's invited to the dream dinner. And to complete my sports dream dinner, it would be Dirk Nowitzki. That's because when he was a young basketball player, he was playing against the San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs. And one of the players for the San Antonio Spurs threw an elbow and knocked both of Dirk Nowitzki's teeth out of his mouth while the game was going on. Dirk finished the play, scooped up his teeth, went to the back, found out his teeth could not be replaced, came back into the game without teeth, and scored 51 points. At that point, Dirk Nowitzki was my favorite player. Not because he necessarily was the greatest player ever, but because that kind of grit and determination is something that I can truly support. And so with those three men and the championships we could talk about and the stories that they have, that would round out the night of an awesome dream dinner. And those are your examples of your two speeches. You're going to have time today to work on filling out your note card. Remember, or perhaps you need to be reminded, that I do not want you to write full text on your note card. Make sure that you have more than just because I like them as a reason why they inspire you, or a reason why you would invite them to the dream dinner. Remember, you have two options. You can either do the inspiration speech or the dream dinner speech. It'll be a 1 minute minimum, 2 minute maximum. And if you'll review the notes that talks about what you're going to be graded on, then you'll be pretty sure what you need to do on Wednesday when we'll actually start speeches. So I'll see you tomorrow. I hope this helped. And quit making fun of me because I'm fat.